Hi friends, Simit here from InformedTrades.com. Today is Friday, January 10th, 2014, time for our daily chart review session. This is a session that I lead every day around this time. It's been a little earlier of late, but normally around 7:38 Eastern Time in New York, which comes out to 12:30 or 1 GMT time. I review the daily charts of around 20 currency pairs that I'm watching and share any trades that I'm placing. The idea behind this is to help traders get the chart time as well as to show my analysis and hopefully give some traders ideas that way. Okay, so I always start with trades that I have on at the moment, and right now I have two trades on at the moment. One is in Euro New Zealand dollar, so let's pull up that chart. Okay, so I entered here on the basis of this hammer candle. I have my stop here. The position is going in my favor. Here's the target profit. Here's basically a resistance level. You can see this resistance level. 1, 2. This one it goes through, but ultimately comes back down. So you might say the resistance level is here, which might be another valid profit target as well. But I'll generally go for the closest resistance level that offers me a reward risk of 3 to 1 at least. In this case, that would be here. Also right just above that recent all-time high, or that recent high here. In any event, so this position's going in my favor so far. That's nice. At some point I will move to break even. However, it is not time to do that yet. Maybe when we get to here, right, which is also let's draw that. Maybe when we get to right around here, change the color on that. Let's make it gray. Let's make it a little thinner. Let's change the style. Okay, so maybe when we get to this dashed line here, which is sort of a resistance level or has some indications of being a minor resistance level, mainly based on the price action here, right where my mouse is, going back to October of 2013. Maybe when price goes there, I'll move to break even, because I would expect price to stall a little bit there. So what I would envision, and of course we'll see, no need to take any action now, but what I would envision, or something that happens a lot in these types of scenarios, is price goes to this near-term resistance level, at which point and starts to waver a little bit. A little battle between bears and bulls occurs here. I will move my stop to break even, and depending on the pullback and other price action factors, I may add more. That may be a time for me to add more. And we'll see what else is going on with other New Zealand dollar pairs or euro pairs. But that's a basic idea of something that can occur. As for now, though, nothing, because it's too early to move to break even. Okay. Now the other position I had on was CAD yen. Okay, and I entered at that black line. So we are slightly below my entry point. Small floating loss here. The stop is still at this level. The target profit, here's a resistance level I'm targeting, is still where it is. So nothing to do here really. Just observe these pairs. The reason I start with these pairs though is because there may be opportunities to move to break even. There may be opportunities to add more. Definitely once I find a winning trade, and a real trend, my interest based on my trading strategy is to ride that and get the most out of that as much as I can. So that often means adding to that position. However, in the case of the two currency pairs we looked at, Euro, New Zealand dollar, and CAD yen, there's just waiting. No action to take at this point, based on my analysis. Excuse me. Okay, Euro, Australian dollar. Nothing here. Still want to see more of a pullback. Euro, Canadian dollar. And this is also, we've seen this a lot with the Canadian dollar ever since, what's this date here? January 3rd. So ever since last Friday, a week ago, it's just been on a tear. Now we're starting to see some signs of it slowing down, and counter trend traders may be interested in this, but I'm not interested in calling a top or trading against the trend. So let's see if there's a pullback. I will draw some lines here. We could say this is an interesting level. Oh, let's go back to our standard black. Thicker and okay, we could say that's an interesting level based on this price action here and this price action here. See, the market has reversed from those levels previously. And I think that would be where I would, so basically 350 pip drop is, if it falls 350 pips, that might be interesting. There's also seems to be now I'm not sure if it's going to be a channel. I'll try to draw it as such. We'll see if it's a stretch. Okay. So you get an idea of a bit of a channel here. It's not perfect. We did fall out of the channel here. But it is to illustrate the basic idea, and we are near the top of it here. Can we fall all the way down to the bottom? Sure. That would also be interesting, and actually, now that I look at it, this would also probably be an interesting level. Right around there, maybe a little lower even. Or they could both be right there. So we'll see. That might be really far. Maybe we can go to the bottom of the channel. But we'll see how price reacts. If it can fall at least here, we'll see if there's any other opportunities. Okay, Euro pound. Reversal here. This is a morning star pattern right here. So that's interesting, which suggests maybe a bigger reversal. However, I'm not interested in counter trend trading, as I routinely mention in these videos. If it rallies back to 83.44, that could be a level to short at. For now, it's just waiting. Let's see if it can even get there. Euro yen. Nothing. Now, I know this process may be boring of just reviewing the charts every day, but I do think it's necessary. Stephen Primo, in an interview I conducted with him, which is also on our InformedTrades channel, says good trading is boring. That's a statement I kind of agree with. I guess I find this a little interesting, having done it a while, but I can definitely see how it would be boring to many. But I think, being risk averse, which I think is an attribute of many traders, or at least having a keen sense of risk management, is going to often be a little boring. If trading is very fun and exciting, you're getting a thrill out of it, you may be taking on too much risk or not managing it appropriately. Euro Kiwi, we already looked at this. I'm in this trade. There's nothing to do aside from wait. Euro US dollar. Okay. Now I had entered at this level previously, and that ended up getting stopped out. Um, Still too early to, I'm not sure if we're going to resume upwards. I don't see enough of a sign. Maybe if it could fall to here, but then at this point, the way it is at the 50 moving average, it could be bullish or bearish. I'm not seeing a clear enough trend. Let's see if there's a channel, or at least a trend line. So, okay, so that's fairly interesting. We are seeing a trend line that price is at, and we are seeing a trading range, which could be viewed as accumulation. Um, yeah, I just don't see a clear enough support level to enter at. So would be if a price can fall to here, but then if price falls to here, then is that almost confirmation that price action is bearish? Um, so at this point, it's a little too choppy for me, a little unclear. If it's unclear, or at least if I find unclear, if I'm not confident in the analysis, then I will pass. So that takes up, or that goes through our euro pairs. Let's go through pound pairs. Pound Australian dollar, same deal as Euro Australian dollar, waiting for the pullback. We have that at level identified. It's about 500 pips away at this point, so we'll of course check back in daily. Pound Canada. Yep, still waiting for the pullback. We've seen this with the Canadian dollar. More signs of reversal here. We also saw this with Australian dollar. Some signs that the trend is getting ready to reverse. However, like I mentioned, I'm more interested in um, waiting for the pullback and buying the dip rather than calling the top. Something else I wanted to mention is, part of going through the charts here is that it really gets you in the habit, or I think, it illustrates a trading routine. This is my trading routine. I think having a trading routine is really vital to instilling discipline and getting in the groove. So this is just one idea of how you could implement a trading routine. Okay, here we go. Pound Swiss, still waiting for more of a pullback. And we could go here, maybe. Pound yen, still waiting. Pound has really been on a roll, so um, and as I've said repeatedly, if I'm in the trend, I'll need less of a pullback to add to it. However, if I'm not in a position, I really want to get started after a nice size pullback. Pound Kiwi, same situation here, waiting for the pullback. Now, Euro Kiwi, we had mentioned this before. If this trend continues to go, I thought about entering here. There was a case to enter here. That's where I entered on Euro Kiwi. However, I thought, well, maybe if it falls further, that'll give me a different entry point, and a little time diversification, which I still like that decision. Although clearly it would have at least been working uh, over the past couple days if I had entered there. Pound US dollar. Yep, still waiting for the pullback. So generally the theme with the pound is waiting for the pullback. Let's look at the dollar pairs now. Wow, dollar Canada. So this is actually on Euro Canada and Pound Canada, we saw signs of the trend slowing down. On dollar Canada, we're still seeing Canadian dollar a lot of weakness against the U.S. dollar. So Canadian dollar still looking weak against U.S. Looks like it may be getting ready to rally against some of the others. In any event, the trend is still bullish, and I'll need a pullback before I can ride that trend. Okay, dollar Swiss. This is probably the same as euro dollar, like I mentioned. So this is a little clearer. Remember, I found euro dollar to be a little murky with the technical analysis. If we can go back to this level here, um, well, now it's a question of whether I'd want to short. I'd still be inclined to short from this level. I think that would be my preferred trade. But where it is now, I still need more of a pullback. I know I say that a lot, but that is the uh, sort of the nature of my trading approach. Dollar yen. Yep, same situation. If it can fall back to 103, so we're about 200 pips away. And dollar Singapore. Okay, yeah. Still need we are at least 100 pips away, which in Singapore dollar terms is fairly significant. The pair tends to move very little um, in the course of a day. A 30 pip move in a day is kind of a big deal for dollar Singapore. So we'll see if we get that pullback or how price shapes up over time. Okay, let's go to Canadian dollar, CAD Swiss. Yep, still same situation. Let's at least draw that line. So, and I did have an entry order on after this candle. I put an entry order. So this candle closed right here at 84.73. I put an entry order 85.20. However, price didn't go back to that level; it just kept falling. But it is for what it's worth. Um, it does show the idea. The thinking was right. We knew that price would respond to this level. If it comes back here, it may respond again. It may be an interesting opportunity. So we'll see. CAD yen we already looked at, but let's just look at it again. I'm in this trade. So right now it's just a matter of waiting. Here's the stop loss. Here's the entry, so I'm a little below the entry, small floating loss. Let's see what happens. No need to take any action. Moving on to the Australian dollar, Australian Canada. Here we go. Okay, price is still nicely rallying up to this resistance level. Let's see if it can get there. We are now 60 pips away. 65 pips away, so getting closer. Let's see how price reacts to that level. Could be an interesting short opportunity. So maybe something to keep an eye out on next week. Aussie CAD. Aussie Swiss. And also that's still needed to go a little further. So that's also the Australian dollar. Basically, we needed to rally a little more. It's approaching a number of resistance levels. And then there may be a short opportunity. Aussie yen. Yeah, still in this range. We've been in this range for quite some time. Not really going to do anything until it breaks out of that range. And Aussie Kiwi. This one I would really prefer to see a pullback to, somewhere a bit further. But let's see. Either way, a bigger move is needed. And Aussie US dollar. Right. So this one, Aussie Canada and Aussie Swiss have had more bullish weeks, and they are approaching their resistance levels that may set up short opportunities. Aussie US dollar is moving a little slower. So the US dollar has more strength these days, so it's a little difficult to rally against relative to some other currencies out there. That may explain some of what's going on here. New Zealand, Canada. Okay, this is an interesting counter trend opportunity. We see these candlesticks right here suggest distribution from a white coffee analysis, early phase of distribution, which is basically sellers trying to quietly get out of position without affecting price too much. However, once sellers are done distributing, then the price can fall. So this is perhaps indication that this quote-unquote smart money, the forces that actually push the market, are beginning to slowly pull out on the daily time frame. But we'll see. In any event, I'm more interested in a pullback to, let's draw some levels here. Pull back to here maybe, right? Price responded noticeably here. We have some interesting activity here and here. So if price can fall there, I think that's pretty interesting, and maybe an opportunity to go long. For now, though, it's just waiting. New Zealand Swiss. Yeah. This was a Another scenario, we saw this with Canada Swiss, where had a wonderful reversal candlestick at resistance level, a great trade opportunity. However, once I put the order, it didn't get filled. The market just immediately went off. So I could have placed a market order, which if I had been doing these videos a couple years ago, is what I would have done. But now, or based on my experiences, if I'm not going to get the pullback to the price that I want, it's not really worth it. Um, so we'll see. If it pulls back to this level, it could still be an opportunity, but for now, nothing to do. New Zealand yen. Yep, this is like we're seeing with euro yen, pound yen. It's in that channel, and not much else. Maybe it can pull back to. Let's actually at least draw that level. So the first level that sticks out is just right here, these points, and I think that would be, so that's 240, 270 pips away. About if we can pull back that much, that may be a good buying opportunity. And New Zealand, US. Yeah, still in this. I really want to see a break out of this converging trend lines here. Volatility is decreasing, which is generally a prelude for a volatility breakout. There may be an opportunity as we get closer to these lines converging, but for now, it's a little too tight, a little too range bound, and unclear as to which way it's going to ultimately end up going. That is about it. So I'm not placing any trades today. Something I will note on my blog on InformedTrades is Aussie Canada. Right. Okay, so this is the closest. Coming up next week, this will be something that I keep an eye out for. I'm interested to see if price can ultimately reach this level that we are 60 pips away from, 65 pips away from. Aussie Canada, this resistance level, depending on if price can get there and what price action is looking like once it does get there, it could be an interesting short opportunity. But other than that, no trades I'm placing today, which is fine. Definitely not a trade to place every day. And if you don't see an opportunity that really appeals to you, that you're really confident in, it is best to pass rather than take an unnecessary risk and potentially lose money. And that's about it. Any questions you have, anything you want to add, join us at InformedTrades.com. Thanks and best of luck in your trading.